Title: The Humble Strength of Cooperation. Characters 1. Milo the Mouse, a clever, hard-working mouse who is small but resourceful. 2. Antonia the Ant, a disciplined, cooperative ant, dedicated to her work. 3. Carlos the Camel, a boastful, strong camel who believes in his own abilities and strength. 4. Farmer Tom, the kind, wise farmer who runs the farm where all the characters live. Introduction. Once upon a time, there was a small farm nestled on the edge of a great desert. The sun blazed fiercely every day, but the farm flourished with the care of a hard-working mouse named Milo and his best friend, Antonia the Ant. Together, they worked to gather crops, build food stores, and make sure the farm stayed safe. One day, a tall and proud camel named Carlos wandered onto the farm. He was traveling through the desert and decided to rest at Farmer Tom's place for a while. With a loud, boastful voice, Carlos introduced himself. "Look at me," said Carlos, standing tall. "I am big, strong, and can carry more weight than any of you. What could tiny creatures like you do around here?" Milo and Antonia exchanged glances, but instead of being offended, Milo smiled. "Strength is important, but there's more to success than just being big and strong," said Milo. "We work together, using our skills to do what's needed." Antonia added, "Sometimes, the right work is done by thinking carefully and moving quickly, not just using force." Carlos laughed. "I'll show you. Watch how much I can carry." And with that, he began his work, stomping around the farm, trying to carry heavy loads on his own. Main story 1. Carlos tries to help. At first, Carlos was confident. His big legs allowed him to carry large bundles of hay, and his strong back could carry heavy bags of grain. But soon, he began to realize that his size wasn't as helpful as he thought. He crushed plants while trying to walk between them, and his heavy steps ruined some of the crops. Meanwhile, Milo and Antonia were working together, gathering food and organizing the harvest in a careful and methodical way. They moved quickly and efficiently, while Carlos kept struggling with the heavy loads he was trying to carry. 2. Carlos's pride gets in the way. "Why are you so slow?" Carlos asked, looking at the mouse and the ant. "Look how much I've carried, I'm way faster than you." But Milo simply shrugged. "It's not about being faster. It's about being precise and working smart." Antonia added, "Working together is key. We can help each other, and with our combined effort, we get things done right." 3. A challenge arises. One hot afternoon, a powerful dust storm blew across the desert, quickly heading toward the farm. The wind howled, and sand began to fill the air. Milo and Antonia knew they had to act quickly to protect the food they had worked so hard to gather. "The storm will destroy everything if we don't move quickly," Milo said. "We need to store the food and protect the crops." Antonia nodded, already gathering supplies to move into the storage area. But Carlos, instead of offering help, grunted, "I can carry everything and make it faster with my strength." 4. Carlos struggles. Carlos tried to gather large amounts of food all at once, but his size and speed didn't allow him to move quickly through the storm. His large feet trampled over the crops, crushing them. His attempt to hurry only made things worse. Meanwhile, Milo and Antonia kept working together. Their small size allowed them to sneak through narrow spaces, avoiding damage to the crops. Antonia used her strength to carry tiny grains one by one, and Milo directed her to the safest areas to store them. They managed to get almost everything out of harm's way. 5. Realization and growth. Exhausted and frustrated, Carlos watched as the mouse and the ant completed their task. The storm passed and the crops and food were safe, while he had failed to protect anything. "I was wrong," Carlos admitted, lowering his head. "I thought my strength was all that mattered, but I see now that working together, thinking carefully, and using what you have wisely are more important." Milo smiled and said, "It's okay, Carlos. Strength is important, but teamwork, patience, and intelligence can make all the difference." Antonia added, "Every creature has its own strength, but the best results come when we use them together." Conclusion. From that day on, Carlos learned that it wasn't just about being the strongest. He realized that working together, thinking carefully, and respecting the strengths of others made tasks easier and more successful. Milo, Antonia, and Carlos became good friends, each using their skills to help the farm thrive. And Farmer Tom, who had watched everything unfold, couldn't have been prouder. He knew that the best way to succeed was through cooperation, humility, and respect for each other's abilities. Moral of the story: true strength, L.